Hi guys, we are the student of Xavier Institute of Management, Bhubaneswar, and now we are going to give you a short brief on the sustainability practices that across industry. Actually, mostly we are focusing on the leather industry, not only on the Indian companies but also some international based companies. We are in the group and like Mohit, Purnangsu, Sivasis, Payal, and Pius. So all of us going to take you through these slides. So first, I like to invite Sivasis to give all the contents and some practices.
We'll be talking about global perspective. We'll start with the global perspective of sustainability in leather industry. We'll take the example of certain European countries and their perspective on sustainability of leather manufacturing. We'll talk about certain companies that apply sustainability processes such as uh, Louis Vuitton in Paris, there's Lanxess in India, Works in San Francisco, and Nike even. And then we'll be talking about how sustainability can be implemented in India leather industries, and we'll end it up with conclusion. Uh, the in European leather industry, sustainability has of in their production has three pillars. That is how the raw material is processed. They then about what they'll talk about process efficiency and how to prevent the pollution that is caused due to the leather production, the waste products we can say. For this, European Union has a lot of initiatives which regulates the leather production uh, and the and chemical wastage. Cotans is a uh, uh, Cotans was started with 15 European partners, and it's now implementing a project named as INCO for supporting tanners and footwear manufacturers with better technologies and better knowledge about how to dispose the hazardous chemicals, how to treat them before disposing. Uh, there are a lot of consumption of chemicals for tanning purposes, or making of leather products. And Cotans Act helps in substitution towards minimum use of hazardous chemicals or reduction in these use of hazardous chemicals and substituting with biochemicals. Uh, then there's also a lot of water consumption and discharge, and Cotans provides these manufacturers an alternative to use water efficient processes and also water recycling technologies so that the water consumption is low. Uh, then we'll talk about the strategy of Louis Vuitton, how their sustainability uh, practices has helped countering pollution caused by the leather manufacturers. They, uh, Louis Vuitton has initiated carbon fund. Uh, it's just they invest in development technologies of sustainability practices in manufacturing of its leather products, and they supply these sustainability practices to their manufacturers. They also have a green supply chain and green marketing uh, uh, initiative, uh, which works on making the supply chain efficient and with low carbon footprint, and green marketing uh, apply green marketing concepts for its leather products in order to catch the latest trend of eco-friendly fashion. They also started a life program which talks about new management tools for treatment of leather byproducts and waste products, and integrate these changes into manufacturing of leather products. And Louis Vuitton also have started using salmon skins, which are byproducts of fish. They have sourced it from Chile, thus replacing leather line from alligator skin and snake skin in order to protect illegal wildlife trade and poaching.
Okay, guys. Now, the sustainability practices, that is one company that we talked about. Now we'll talk about the another company, which is the Lenexis. This company is one of the major company which producing the leather chemicals, which are like preservative and liquiding agents, dye stuffs, pigments, and tanning and finishing auxiliaries. The why you are talking about this company? Because for a leather industry, these companies are the major suppliers. Like the leather industries, they use these chemicals for the tanning process. That we talked before, and also they are using these chemicals for the finishing their leather, like children footwears and also automobile sectors they use. So what is the process this company follows? Other than the only looking for the profitability, they also look for the people and also the planet. So the three pillar this company adopted, that is the first thing is the renewal of the raw materials, and also they use the non-toxic substances. Then they try to reduce the energy, and how they can good for the water requirements they can be minimized. And also they look for the not only for the sustainability, through the sustainability they look for the how the longer service life, and also the less consumption of the leather, and good recycling process. So they adopted so many processes like extend technology, X biomer technology, water-based pigments, and the XIMB technology. I am talking about the most important things as in the bottom line, the bottom pillar. That is this technology they use to unhairing the solution, and also for the tanning process. That is the most important part in the leather industry that we know. And the second thing is that this process is very temperature evaporation is very low, and that can be controlled, and also pH can be controlled. So they why it is happening, because they use the enzyme rather than using the chemicals for the tanning process. You can go from the top pillar like extend technology. This technology they use why? They used for to preserve water and reduce environment contamination. This is used for like they use some metals like aldehyde free organic tanning agents. This is totally non-toxic and also non-pickling. So this is used for to preserve water and also less environmental contamination. The second thing is the X biomer. The X biomer, like I talked about, like this company also using they're producing the leather child footwears and also for the automotives. So this technology use the chemicals which are chemical oxygen demand lower, and also degradation is very less. Then you go for the water-based pigments. These pigments used by the leather industry for the finishing purposes. Here also they used solvent-free pigments, which is very helpful for the casein-free and also very fine particles.
So we will go through sustainable strategies of my co-works company. It is it is established in 2013 in San Francisco. It is redefining leather with mycelium. Mycelium is like a what we say. It's a skin of mushroom. It's a skin of mushroom which is very dense structure. So what the companies do, they grow under varying conditions, and after that they start tanning, which result into fungal mat, and finally, uh, due to with the help of fungal mat, they just make leather. So, what are the advantages to the company and the society? It is very engineered to perform. It is very versatile since it's made up from the natural resource, that is mycelium. It, it is sustainable, cost comparative, it is very cheaper, it is very it manipulated, and last utilization of resources, and also it helps in like we should not kill the animals to produce leather.
There were some sustainability strategies by Nike. Nike was highly criticized for its labor practices during the period of the years 1998 to 2013. So Nike focused on the supply chain to process more environmentally friendly practices, and the challenges and complexities it was still facing in its efforts to improve labor conditions. What were the labor practices that were taken up by Nike? It was Nike made significant changes in its sustainability practices, including moving its corporate responsibility team much further upstream in the organization. That means it applied its practices right from the top level, where it could have a greater impact on decisions by providing input early in the process. Environmental and other areas of sustainability check. The company also developed multiple indices that measured its sustainability practices and those of its independent contract manufacturers. Now, the next part will be taken off by Piyush.
So now I will tell you what are the challenges which are faced by the Indian leather industry. As we all know, leather forms a very important part in our leather industry, as it is one of the most important platforms which gives employment to women and people over here. So some of the challenges which are faced by the leather industries are which are due to the ownership. The second one being environmental impact of the leather, as it leads to degradation of water and soil quality, and also there are many technical barriers, as most of the technology is not up to date, because of which it leads to a lot of erosion of soil and also environmental impacts. And the last one being poor legislation and lack of supervising facilities. So from the whole presentation, we are concluding that the Indian leather industry domestic company sustainability process is still on a way of development, as if we compare it to the Europe and the American standards. The next one being due to the above challenges, leather companies are still behind the international context in concern to sustainability methods. And the last one being the market is also an so symmetry that the information of getting the sustainability adopted by domestic companies is very difficult. So that is the end of our presentation. Thank you.